Occasionally they'll find pottery that has writing on it. When you find the writing, it's called an ostraca. And you have to be very careful because that's important. You don't want to lose that. That's a word that's coming to us from the past, or a series of words or a text on the pottery. Pottery was sort of like the notepads, the sticky notes of the ancient world. They pick it up and write a note on it. Here are some examples of ostraca. Ostraca is plural, ostracon is singular. Oh, some of these at the bottom are interesting. They're in Greek: Themistocles, Neokleos, Epepius. They were found in Athens, in the Agora. Here's another here. Athens had a tradition. Every year they'd take a vote on who the worst politician was. And the one who won that vote was exiled for a decade. And they would write their names. These are the ballots on pieces of pottery. And they find those all over the Agora there at Athens. It's a great custom. We should start that in the U.S. It'd be nice. You could exile a politician every year. That process of using the ostraca to get rid of a politician still is embedded in English with the term ostracize, which has the term ostraca in it. We ostracize using ostraca. At least they did. Sometimes the ostraca is not on pottery but stone. You can see here. This is a pottery vessel that was found in a site. Normally, as I mentioned, there are fragments, so it's quite rare to find pots whole, even though you see pictures of those very often because they're whole, so it's significant. When you're actually on the dig, the vast majority of pottery you find is in fragments, and so it becomes a jigsaw puzzle, which archaeologists take the pieces and try to fit them back together and recreate the vessels. So you can put the pieces back and get an idea. In this case, they only found one piece. But they've reconstructed the whole thing from that one piece. So the question becomes, how do they do that? Well, like I mentioned before, that we are creatures of habit and creatures of fad. And so very often when you find a particular pottery type, you see many, many different versions of that. And so when you've seen thousands upon thousands of this particular type of pottery, then finding just one little piece, you can reconstruct the whole thing because you've seen it so many times. This is a Greek vase where they've taken black paint and painted on the red background. Anyway, I'm just showing you different styles as they change through time. In China, they even had a whole army made out of ceramics. Have you heard about that? The Emperor's Army, life size. I guess in the afterlife, all these guys came back to life and served the emperor. But you notice their faces are different? Supposedly, they actually made ceramic replicas of people that were actually in the army. So those are like portrait. Have you seen Mulan? Evidently, the artist in Mulan took a lot of the imagery from these Chinese warriors. So that's an example of the high art of ceramics when you can actually create a full-size army out of ceramics.